Hello Ninjago fans, welcome to my Ninjago season tier list video. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and I hadn't really gotten the chance to until now because I haven't been alone enough to be able to do it. And I want to apologize right off the bat. I'm recovering from COVID still, and I have a nasty cough, so hopefully it doesn't interfere with this video too much. It's going to take a lot of editing in post, but we'll see. So this video is not going to be like these are the best seasons and this is why. It's a personal tier list. I did my best to make sure that I wouldn't upset people. We're going to be separating them into 18 seasons, and I am separating season 11 because I don't want to talk about the fire chapter. So we are going to start from the very bottom at number 18 all the way up to what I think is the best Ninjago season ever, hands down. So at the very bottom at number 18 for me has to be season 11, the fire chapter. This chapter honestly was such a disappointment. We were coming down from the high of some of the best media that Ninjago ever came out with, which is the Oni trilogy, and that's a hands down fact. Like, even if you don't like all three of them, which I don't really like the last one all that much compared to the other two, but coming from the Oni trilogy to whatever the heck they were thinking with the fire chapter was such a disappointment, but this was my first time watching it fully since it all came out, and I was extremely disappointed seeing the difference from the Oni chapter, or the March of the Oni, to fire chapter. I was like, what is this? This is bad. This is just straight up horrible. They had so many of the anime episodes and so many filler stuff, and it had its comedic moments, but it just was bad. Up until the very end, where it expressed the fire chapter and what it was going to turn into with the second half with the ice chapter, I hated it. So nothing can compare to how bad the fire chapter is for me personally, and if somebody asks me what's the worst season, I will tell them that the first half of season 11 is absolutely skippable. It's just straight up, it's just bad. Alright, at number 17, here's the first controversial one for me, at least. We have Skybound. So, if you follow my Tumblr, I have talked numerous times about how much I despise this season. And it isn't because it's a bad season. If you take away a lot of its contents, it's a good season. It's enjoyable to watch. But I would never sit down and choose to watch it, and I have actually skipped over this in my rewatch that I'm currently doing. I just finished Master of the Mountain, and I need to move on to the island now, but I just skipped over Skybound instantly. And the reason being is it feels like a fanfic. It feels like you're 10 years old and you had a really good idea, but then you wrote yourself into a wall, didn't finish it off in a good way, so you say, and it was all a dream, the end. That's exactly the ending of Skybound, and it is so bullshit. It has so many questions, like, is Jay actually adopted, or was it just for the season, you know? What was that about? Why don't the ninja get freaked out at the fact that Nia's suddenly like, oh, I love you, Jay, and is fine with it? Like, they watch them kiss, and Kai's all like, gross, obviously, because it's his sister, but everybody else is like, huh? This whole time, you've been like, ew, boy's icky, I don't want anything to do with you guys, I want to be my own person, and then suddenly she's like, I love Jay. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I hate this season so much. And then it adds so many questions about Nauticon, like, is he gonna come back? Who finds the genie lamp, all that kind of stuff. There's so many questions that this season has that it felt so disgusting by the end of it. Why I hate Skybound. If we were getting rid of Fire Chapter and Ice Chapter separately, and if they were one thing, Fire Chapter, or Season 11 would be up higher, and Skybound would be at the very bottom, because I just despise it. Nobody can change my mind on this. Alright, the next one for me, personally, it isn't bad. All of these from Up aren't bad. They're just not really I wouldn't choose to go watch them out of all Ninjago media. I wouldn't choose to watch this. So at number 16, we have Day of the Departed. Day of the Departed is really good. I do enjoy it, but it has its moments where it's just like, okay, whatever. It's nice to see how Cole became human again, and I like that aspect of it, but there was a lot of it that just, again, it kind of did feel like a fan fiction. It was like, okay, I want to write, and I want to be like, what if this happened? It feels like a Marvel what if episode, but done very poorly. Now, granted, this was done before Marvel's What If came out, obviously, but it kind of gives that feel, where it's like a what if scenario. It doesn't feel like it should fit into the canon, but it does. But it isn't a bad piece of media. It is a good 40-minute watch if you're bored. I would say, like, I'd watch it a couple of times, but I would never, like, go out of my way to watch it. Now, I have heard from some of my commenters that the Chinese version is better, and I still haven't gotten off my butt to watch it yet, so hopefully I can do that soon. And my opinion on Day of the Departed may change after I watch it, but seeing it from the straight-up American or English version of it, it's nice. It's near the bottom of the barrel for me, but it's okay. Alright, at number 15, we have my second controversial one. We have The Island. Now, The Island was the first piece of media that came out after I became a fan again. I was a fan since 2013, and after Rebooted came out, I stopped because I was angry. I'll explain when we get to Rebooted, but it was the first season that was coming out, and I was super excited, and then left thoroughly disappointed at how little it gave. It was the introduction that we required, that we really, really needed for Seabound to be as perfect as it is. But a standalone movie, like, they really could have expanded on the island more, made it more in-depth, added a little more content into it to make it packed and feel more complete, because Ninjago's The Island could have had a lot more stuff, I feel, but they kind of rushed it. If you watch it in episodes, it straight up sucks. You have to watch it all four at once in order for it to be enjoyable, which is something I don't really like about March of the Oni either, but we'll get to that later. The Island just felt like a big disappointment. I'm not gonna skip over it in my rewatch, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it like some of the other ones. So yeah, I know a lot of people will disagree with me with that, and that's fine. I expected that, but I just don't really enjoy The Island as much as I thought I would have. Okay, for number 14, we get into the okay section of the tier list. We're going to start off with Hands of Time, which, honestly, I would have put it up higher more, but Hands of Time is good. I don't understand why so many people hate on it, personally. I can see why, but I enjoyed it a lot. I have had a hard time with Nia as a character ever since Season 5. She's bugged me. She's just straight up irked me. But Season 7, I did enjoy her as a character a lot more in this season than in previous seasons, so it did its job with that. And I did love seeing the friendship dynamic, the tight bond that Kai and Nia had, especially when Kai thought that their parents were the villains the whole time. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to see them, and I'm very glad that we did, because it was just awesome. I kind of wish I could go back and rewatch this for the first time, because I enjoyed it a lot. As always, when you throw time travel into the mix of things, it doesn't hit. Ninjago only did one good time travel episode, and that was in Season 2. But with Hands of Time, it's like, you can't do time travel. There are some shows that it fits. I don't really think it fit with Ninjago very well, personally, but it was a good season. I did like it. I can see why people don't like it, but I prefer it more than most people, I guess is what I'd say. Okay, so with number 13, this may surprise some people with how highly I was talking about the Oni trilogy, but I'm going to put March of the Oni at number 13. And that is because it's the same situation that I was explaining earlier with the island. It had so much potential of storyline, and it was crammed down into 40 minutes, and it really did not hit. It really didn't. It was really nice to see Jay and Nia get engaged. That and Cole's fall was honestly the only thing I enjoyed about March of the Oni, because the second they were like, yeah, okay, the whole Garmadon thing, that's done. They have not touched on it since then. They kind of introduced the fact, like, yeah, Garmadon's out in the loose into the world, and he's still evil. But they didn't wrap it up. He's, like, not there anymore. And it was really frustrating. I can see why a lot of people like this, but if they had added more episodes to it for the season instead of just a 4-part special, I would have enjoyed it more. But they just added a lot of questions, and it didn't really hit with me. It's not anything bad, I just wish that they added more. Alright, we have another one that will surprise some people, and that is number 12, Prime Empire. And I feel bad saying it, but Prime Empire was enjoyable, and initially I would have had it lower on the list, but because of the Ninjago Media Project, I found out that there were shorts that gave a prologue to the season, and I had no idea about this, and it talked about, it showed Jay when he went into Prime Empire before we knew that he was there, and the actual season didn't show us that at all. So watching those before I rewatched Prime Empire made me enjoy it a lot more. I feel like Prime Empire could have done a lot better if it had those little shorts in the actual season. But it's a good season, and I liked to see Jay take on more of a non-comedic role and as a strong leader, and I know that he can do it because he did it well in Skybound, but we don't talk about Skybound. Skybound is the Bruno of Ninjago, so it's okay. I don't really like the sets, it's not really my style, but I'm a sucker for sucked into a video game. I love that trope, I love that idea, so I liked it a lot, but it's not my favorite. Alright, we are almost at top 10. So, at number 11, we have the pilot. I wasn't exactly so sure where to put the pilot, but I have gone back and rewatched the pilot more than some of the stuff below the pilot. It is not the best because it's old. You can rewatch it, and I mainly laugh when I rewatch it, just because it's goofy. It's just in a silly, goofy mood, you know. But the pilot started it all, and we would not have the season the series as a whole without the pilot. So I have to give it some slack. I have to cut it some slack. I have to remember the time and everything, and it's a good little watch. I would not choose it out of all seasons to be like, I'm gonna watch the pilot because that's the best. No, it's not the best. It's mid. It's straight mid. But it's enjoyable enough that it's held up past 11 years. That just whacked to me, 11 years, hello. But it is good enough that it is still enjoyable and watchable this many 11 long years that it has been. Alright, now number 10, we're in the top 10 now, and this is going to get me in trouble. But I have to say, I like one over the other. And at number 10, I have to put Season 2. I gotta say, top 10, final battle, right there. Right there. I think it's Legacy of the Green Ninja, but I'm just focusing on the end bit. In my rewatch, I feel like people put nostalgia first with this season, because the first couple episodes, I'm not gonna lie, I did skip a lot in my rewatch. Dareth is a great character, obviously. We got some great episodes in this season. Lloyd's mom came back, and I'm glad that she and Lloyd are close now. But rewatching this season, it's still good. It's still very enjoyable. I have it in my top 10, but I like Season 1 better. And the final battle was good. It was great. I loved watching it. I remember my family would watch it with me, and they liked it too. I did like it, but I liked Season 1 better, and I will explain why. Rise of the Snakes is, when you think of Ninjago, you think of Rise of the Snakes. At least for me. When someone mentions Ninjago, my mind will go back to 11-year-old me sitting and watching this and just loving it. One of my favorite episodes ever, still to this day, is TikTok. TikTok made me go bonkers for Zane as a character. When I was a kid, Zane was my baby. I love Zane. I still do. I just like Cole a little more now, but when I was a kid, Zane was my everything. This season, I don't want there to be, but there are skips. It's got a lot of great episodes, and I know this season very, very well, honestly. Like, I feel like I could take a quiz on it, and I would be able to answer a lot of it, because I've seen this so much. And like I mentioned earlier, when someone mentions Ninjago seasons, my mind goes to season 1, because it is just perfect. It had all the excitement, it has a lot of goofy silliness to it. The episode that comes to mind off the top of my head is TikTok is one of them. We get to see the ninja find their true potentials, which they never seem to explore later on, which is bugging me, but it's fine. But season 1 is just fantastic, honestly. I love it a lot. And you're probably like, okay, why is it number 9? It's just because I like some others more. And it's still really, really good. I love rewatching it, and I do go back and rewatch some episodes a lot. If I want some background noise, I'll put on season 1 in the background, honestly. Season 3 or season 1. Those earlier seasons are really, really good. But I do enjoy the season a lot, and it rightfully should be up a little higher, but some of the older seasons have more enjoyable bits than this. Alright, number 8. I'm gonna catch some flack for this, and I know it. Number 8 and number 7, you guys are gonna hate me for. But here I'm gonna say it. My number 8 is the Ice Chapter. I know, you can kill me, it's fine. But the Ice Chapter is worlds better. So much better than the Fire Chapter could ever hope to be. And it sucks that these two get meshed together because it's the same season, it's just separated. But the Ice Chapter is so much better than the Fire Chapter that it's like a clutch my pearls moment, like, ugh, you like the Ice Chapter? What's wrong with you? You know, because it's so bad. With the two of them together, yes, but if you just take the very last few episodes of the Fire Chapter and attached it to the Ice Chapter and you sold that to me as a season, I would have loved it anyway. Like I said before, Zane was my original first favorite ninja, and I still love him to death. But watching this for the first time killed me, because I was like, oh my god, this is my favorite character and he's the villain now. What the heck? And then Zane's goodbye message had me bawling. Pixel's goodbye message to Zane had me bawling. I just love Pick Zane. And there was so much Pick Zane in this season. I just loved it. It was fantastic. Oh my god, I love this season. But the one thing that I hated was how Lloyd was the one to get through to Zane. I don't understand that. Zane and Lloyd have never really been close with each other. Like, obviously they're close, but they're not like, I can bring you back, you're my best friend kind of close. I don't know. It kind of bugged me, but it wasn't anything bad. So for number 7, again, I'm gonna get beaten for this. I have Rebooted. And it's hilarious and ironic that someone who hates Skybound as much as I do has Rebooted higher. Because truthfully, out of the two, Rebooted is worse than Skybound. It's weird, I know. But with Rebooted, they added so many very stupid things to Rebooted. We have Evil Woo, which made no sense and was written under the rug so fast. We have the love triangle. Square. Triangle? Yeah, triangle. I don't even need to talk about this. We all know it was stupid. We all hate it. Rebooted only is up so high for nostalgia purposes. With those things out of the side, we were introduced to Pixel, and I love my girl. I love Pixel so much. Zane is an awesome main character for this, and I wish that he would get the spotlight more. Zane's sacrifice. That's a biggie. Zane's sacrifice broke me, and it broke me so hard as a little Zane stan when this came out that I stopped becoming a fan. And I was like, I'm not going to become a fan anymore. I'm not going to watch the show anymore because they killed off my favorite character. So I have had a lot of love for this season purely because it is what made me a proper Ninjago fan. That is the only reason why this season is up so high. Alright, number 6. It pains me that she's number 6 and can't be top 5, but somebody had to be number 6. It's Possession. Possession is really good. Moro. Need I say more? Moro. He's amazing. He is such a cool villain. I loved him from the start, and I still love him today, and I am so thankful for Andrew Francis. I am so thankful for that man, because he did amazing at Moro, and he's doing fantastic with Cole. The theme song. The theme song is so good! Oh my gosh, I love this whip. This whip and the Hands of Time whip are my all-time favorites. They're just fantastic. I love them. I love them. This season's awesome. I love the suits. The only thing that sucked was that Cole became a ghost. And Nia would not shut up about being the water ninja. And this was the first season where I was like, I don't like Nia. And I kept that mindset until Seabound. And I regret that. I regret that. But Possession was so good. This season was so good. I love it a lot. And it pains me that she's not top 5. But you will see why the top 5 are the top 5. Right, and number 5, we have Tournament of Elements. Tournament of Elements. Oh my god. After Rebooted was fantastic. It was like, what's season 12? Like how Prime Empire was after season 11. Tournament of Elements, I think, is what kept the faith in Ninjago fans after Rebooted. Now, granted, Rebooted is a mess, but it is still enjoyable. Tournament of Elements, I don't think I can pick this apart and be like, oh, this is what's bad about it, because it is so good and enjoyable. The beginning had me very concerned, because I was like, the ninja hate each other, and this is bad. I've also been bugged by Lloyd from the early on seasons, and I never really got over that bugginess until, I want to say, season 8, when I started to like Lloyd as a character more. Season 5, or season 4, actually, I should say, is very, very good. I like it a lot. I love Skylar. She's great. We had a great villain. I only put this as high as I did because I know I would get crucified if I did not. I would choose some other ones over Tournament of Elements in my rewatches, personally, but it is too good that it would be a crime to put it any lower. Okay, number 4 is Hunted. Hunted, I would not say that I like Hunted more than Sons of Garmadon, but it's close. Hunted, Father Cole, Dad Cole, it was amazing, and I love it, and I know that Father Cole was started in Sons of Garmadon, but Cole, in this, oh my gosh, he's just so good in this season. I love him to death. This season, I was afraid. Watching it, I will admit, I was afraid that it was not going to be as good as Sons of Garmadon, because how can you come back down from that good of a season? But, with Hunted, they were able to balance 2 starkly different storylines, and they did it great. And I don't know how they did that. I really do not know how they did that, and had it be as good as it is. Because we had, on one side, we had the Resistance in Ninjago, led by Lloyd, and then we had the ninja being hunted alive in the first realm. And it was great. They did a fantastic job at balancing the 2. One didn't feel more overpowered than the other, and the reunion at the very end was great. And honestly, if they didn't make March of the Oni, They probably could have fit March of the Oni in the finale, maybe. They could have merged it. I'm glad they kept it as a trilogy. But, Hunted was great. And we are at the top 3. Finally, top 3. And my number 3 has gotta be Sons of Garmadon. It's amazing. I love Sons of Garmadon so much. I had never thought that we could see Ninjago in a dark way, but they did it so well. It was amazing. I was extremely upset by the character changes first, by how they looked. Nowadays, I love the new looks, and I like them a lot. But coming from our old stuff to this new stuff, it really bugged me. But I don't think Sons of Garmadon would have been that good without the new looks. They just added to it. They really did. Getting into storyline stuff, Lloyd and Harumi. Wow. I was not expecting that plot twist. I really was not. And I was shocked by it. Really, really shocked. And really upset in Harumi's death. I don't remember if I think it was in Hunted that she died. But Sons of Garmadon was just, oh my god, it was amazing. There's a lot that I wish we had. But I am very thankful for what they were able to do this season, because it is really, really good. And I don't think there's a single person that does not like Sons of Garmadon, because it is just that good of a season. I'm sure that you guys can guess the top 2 by process of elimination, but I have to say, Seabound is number 2. Seabound, oh my god, this season I was not expecting to like as much, because like I said earlier, I don't really like Nia. But this season completely changed my mind on that. And it finally, I feel like it took her from a whiny, bratty kid to a strong warrior woman. And I love her, and I miss her dearly. And Seabound is the hardest I have ever cried watching Ninjago. Because we said goodbye to Nia, and we also said goodbye to Cole, to Kirby. That was the last time we will ever hear Kirby voice Cole, and every time I rewatch Seabound, and it gets to the final scene where she dies in the funeral, from the second she dies, I cannot stop crying, and I cry harder when it says in loving memory of Kirby Morrow, because the tribute that they had unintentionally to both characters is so beautiful. And I don't really like Calamar as a villain. He really bugged me. I don't really like Benthamar. But the season as a whole is just so good. And we hadn't gotten... Actually, I lied. No, we did get a couple good seasons. But Sons of Garmadon, Seabound, and my number 1... I think is the best we've ever gotten from Ninjago, and I really don't know how they're going to top it. But this season was just so good. It was, oh my god, it was so good. I love the humor. I love the seriousness. Jay, it showed another layer that Jay never showed before about being a damn good husband. It is so, so good, and I love it so much. And I wish that I had liked Nia a lot more before this season, because I probably would have cried even harder. I'm going to admit it. But Seabound was fantastic, but only one season can top Seabound for me. And that season is Season 13, Master of the Mountain. I'm sure you guys saw this coming, but realistically, even not being a Cole fan, you guys can see the brilliance of this season. Near the beginning, I was like, okay, this is going to be really cool. And then near the middle of the season, I was like, really? But it shows so much of Cole that we never got before. And sadness aside, this season is just, oh my god, it's beautiful. It is really beautiful. It dives a lot into Cole's character more than we thought we would ever get. We get to see Lily, which is beautiful. I don't like Rania, though. I think it's stupid that the first time they introduce an actual love interest for Cole, it's Vanya. Ugh. She bugs me. She's a typical Pinkie Pie, and I don't really like Pinkie Pie characters. Icky. I don't like him personally. So Vanya really bugged me. But this whole season, I just love it a lot. I really do. I rewatch it a lot. It is my favorite for sure, and it is one of the best seasons that Ninjago's ever come out with, and I don't know if they'll be able to top it. I really do hope that they can, but I just don't know how. So for now, Master of the Mountain will remain the best Ninjago season that has come out yet. So if you made it through the end and listened the whole time, thank you for sticking around. I'm very sorry about my voice again. I did my best to cut out all the coughing and sniffles. It's quite annoying to speak like this, and it is very uncomfortable, but I'm doing my best because I just gotta say, you guys are going so crazy with the love and support. I am more than willing to make more videos like this in the future, and like I mentioned earlier, I want to make more theory videos based around what I think is going to happen in the next season, prediction videos and stuff like that, and I will gladly listen to what you guys want to make, me to make, I guess I should say, and get right on them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite seasons are, if you agree with my list, if you disagree with my list, and just let me know. Talk to me. If you want me to make another tier list of some sort, let me know, and I will get right on that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video. Bye, guys.